So, last topic of our electrochemistry is potentiometric titrations. So, the what are the potentiometric titration? First of all, these are the important applications of EMF measurements. Potentiometric titrations. Potentiometric titrations. Wait for a while. Yeah. So these are the important applications of EMF measurement. So we can do the potentiometric titration with the help of EMF measurement. So first of all, what are titrations? If you remember that you have done the practicals of titration in your first year classes, what do you do in the titration? You take a burette pipette and add a solution of known molarity or known concentration and titrate or made to react this known concentration solution with the solution of unknown concentration, and their reaction is detected by the with the help of indicator. And with the help of indicator you just try to detect the end point of the titration, and from end point you just calculate the strength of the solution or molarity of the unknown solution. So this is the method. So these titrations can be done with the help of EMF measurements, and these titration of the EMF measurements are called potentiometric titration. So potentiometric titration involve the quantitative estimation of substance in solution by measurement of potentials. So the principle of potentiometric titration is, in a potentiometric titration, the end point of the reaction is detected by the measuring the change in the electrode potential of suitable electrode. So in volumetric titration, what do you see? You see the end point by change of the color. You just titrate the two solutions, and you detect the end point with the help of change in the color. Whereas in case of potentiometric titration, you detect the end point by uh, change in the electrode potential of a suitable electrode, and that electrode is called the indicator electrode. So the indicator electrode is immersed in the solution to be titrated, and the indicator electrode is paired with a reference electrode, and both these electrodes are connected to a potentiometer. So in potentiometric titration, potentiometer is the instrument used to detect the endpoint, and as the titration is carried out, there is a change in the concentration. There is a change in the concentration of ions in the solution. As a result, the EMF of the indicator electrode changes gradually. So suppose that if you are titrating NaCl plus HCl plus NaOH. So basically what are these? HCl, H positive plus Cl negative, and what is NaOH? Na positive plus OH negative. And you know well that current is carried by a charged particle. So these charged particles are present in the solution. So when you will titrate them among themselves, there will be the dissociation or association of the ions, which further result in the change in the concentration of the ions. Suppose this Cl reacts with the Na positive and forms the NaCl, whereas H positive and OH negative reacts to form the water. So if you will see here, there is a decrease in the number of ions. If this happens, there is a decrease in the number of ions. So when you will made to react the solution, there are no current carrying particles, but in actual practice NaCl exists as Na positive and Cl negative. So these are the ions present. So potentiometric titration, if you will connect these mixture of these solution with the potentiometric, there will be the change in the number of ions, and those change in the number of ions means change in the concentration of ions. Number of ions means basically means change in the concentration, and change in the concentration will give the end point of the titration. Since the electrode potential of the reference electrode remains same, thus any change in the electrode potential of reference electrode is indicated by a similar change in the cell potential. The equivalence point or the end point is found by measuring the EMF at each stage of the titration and plotting it against the volume of titrant added from the burette. Further, a sharp rise in the curve indicates the end point and the corresponding volume of the solution. So what happens in a potentiometric titration or acid base titration. Suppose you draw this kind of curve. This is the EMF in volts, and this is the volume of NaOH added. So this is the basically this is the end point, sharp increase in the EMF of the solution. This is called end point. It comes at a particular volume, and mid of this line is called equivalence point. So this is the EMF where end point is observed, and this is the concentration where end point is observed. So in case of acid base titration, when you mix the acid and base, and will observe their EMF with the help of potentiometry. The apparatus used for potentiometric acid base titration is given in this diagram. So I will not draw this diagram, I will just show you here in the book. This is the basically diagram. This is the diagram which consists of the these two containers. Basically, in first container there is this burette is directed in the container, and drop wise solution is to be added in this container, whereas this is the hydrogen electrode, and this is the KCl solution as standard calomel electrode. From here, saturated KCl solution, the calomel is made to react, whereas H2 gas is added in this hydrogen electrode. So this is the mixture. A known volume of given acid, say HCl, is taken in a large beaker. Suppose in this beaker HCl has been taken. This is a large beaker, and hydrogen electrode is dipped into it. The electrode is connected to a saturated calomel electrode through a potentiometer. So this is the saturated calomel electrode. And what is this? Think for a while. What is this? This is the, what is this? This is a salt bridge. Further, the base, say NaOH, is added from the burette. So in this burette NaOH is added, and this is added drop wise in this beaker. The pH of the solution changes because of the change in the proton concentration. So yesterday I had explained you very well that what is the pH and how does it vary with the concentration of H positive ions. So basically H positive ions are present in HCl. HCl exists as H positive and Cl negative. So when you will add NaOH from our from this burette, and in NaOH there is Na positive plus OH negative anion. So OH negative anions will react with this proton, and they will form the water. So obviously the concentration of the proton is going to decrease because of the addition of OH negative from the burette, and so decrease in the concentration of proton will obviously change the pH of the solution, because pH depends on the concentration of these protons. So as the electrode potential of calomel electrode is constant, the change EMF of the cell due to change in pH of the solution is given by E is equal to E naught minus 0.0591 log of H positive at 298 Kelvin, where E naught is the standard electrode potential, and further pH is equal to negative log of proton, and simplifying this equation it becomes E is equal to E naught plus 0.059 pH. You just replaced the value of this log H positive with this pH plus this is there is a negative sign, so this negative sign changes into positive, and further pH word is inserted here instead of this log H positive. So therefore EMF of the cell depend upon the concentration of protons, ions, or pH value of the solution of the hydrogen electrode. Further, NaOH solution is added in small amounts, and EMF of the cell is noted after each addition. A plot of EMF against the volume of NaOH added is shown in this figure. So this is the figure showing the change in the EMF of the solution, and the steepest portion of the curve indicate the end point. So this is the end point because there is a sharp increase in the EMF of the solution. After the end point, After the endpoint, further addition of NaOH produces very little change in the proton ion concentration. Hence, there is a very little change in the EM of the solution. So basically, this curve starts from the here. When you adds NaOH to the HCl, there is a decrease in the number of ions, and decrease in the number of ions will obviously result in the decrease in the EMF of the solution. So EMF goes through this way, and here where the concentration of NaOH becomes equal to HCl, there is a sharp decrease in the EMF of the cell, and this is sharp decrease. This T point is called end point, and further there is the slow decrease in the EMF. So further, in case of very dilute solutions or weak acid and weak bases, the steepness of the curve is less marked, so it is difficult to locate the endpoint. In such cases, we plot delta E oblique delta V against the volume of the alkali added. So this was the acid base titrations. Further, the pH can be measured with the help of redox titration, and this is the apparatus for the redox titration. So you first of all, you just have an idea about what is the acid base titration or what is the redox titration. So this is the theoretical part, so I will teach you from this book here. So the redox titration are carried out by potentiometrically by using indicator electrode. The indicator electrode consists of an inert metal such as platinum wire dipped in the solution containing oxidized and reduced form of the same substance. This electrode acts as a redox electrode. This redox electrode is coupled with the saturated calomel electrode. This is the saturated calomel electrode, and this is the indicator electrode or redox electrode. So titration of ferrous ion with ceric ion. Ferrous is Fe2 positive and ceric is Ce4 positive is an example of redox titration. In this titration, Fe2 positive ion is oxidized to Fe3 positive. So see here, Fe2 positive is converting into Fe3 positive. How does it convert? It just loses one electron, and this one electron lost from Fe2 positive is gained by the Ce4 positive, and this Ce4 positive changes to Ce3 positive. So basically, Ce4 positive undergoing reduction and Fe2 positive undergoing oxidation. So in this titration, Fe2 positive ion is oxidized to Fe3 positive while Ce4 positive ion is reduced to Ce3 positive. So this is the redox reaction. The indicator electrode is platinum strip dipping in the solution of Fe2 positive ions. This is the solution of Fe2 positive ion, and it is connected to a standard calomel electrode. The Ce4 positive ions in the form of ceric sulfate solution is added from the burette in small installments, and the cell potential is recorded after each addition. A sharp change in the EMF occurs at the end point. So this is the end point, and so it is possible to detect the end point. So this is the end point. Sharp change occurs, and the electrode potential of platinum electrode in contact with Fe2 positive ion is given by either of the following equations. So these are the two equations, and value of N is equal to 1. This is the which equation is this? This is the Nernst equation. Here the value of N is equal to 1, so it is NF. Further 0.059 divided by 1 log of this oxidized over reduced form, and this is the electrode potential of platinum electrode. So this is the redox titration and potentiometric titration. And last is the precipitation titration. So you can do it yourself. There is no need to explain it. Everything has been written here, and this is very short. You just have the idea of this titrations. What is potentiometric and what is redox and what is precipitation titration. So now your this section is also complete of electrochemistry. Now we have been left with the inorganic chemistry part. And organic chemistry part, where two sections are present. One is of carbohydrates and other is of amines. So now in inorganic chemistry we are left with the S block periodic table, S block, P block and noble gases, and that is hydrogen, first element of the periodic table. So we have been left with these topics. So I will start these topics from our next class. So this is the electrochemistry.